Hey guys, welcome back. So as promised, here's a video about how to acquire beautiful autographed books and just autographs in general. Now, little disclaimer, I am not an expert. It's not like I go around shopping for autograph stuff all the time, but I'm kind of just sharing the places that I've been able to find autograph stuff, particularly books in this case, and sharing it with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and go through a list of the more obvious places and then maybe the not so obvious places people tend to look when they're interested in buying an autographed copy of a book, or signed copy, whatever you want to call it. Signed, autographed, written in, same difference. So the really obvious two places you can start off with are eBay and or Amazon, in case you want to do a little cross-checking to see what's better price. Now on eBay you will surely find the book that you're looking for, but you're also going to find that book with a really exaggerated price tag because sellers are trying to make a profit. No offense to you sellers, I sell on eBay too, but sometimes it's really exaggerated. Like, you might be able to get that same signed copy of the book for 20 bucks, but on eBay the seller is going to try to sell it for 100 bucks. So if you found a book that you like, mark it as watched item, like watch it, be on top of it, because maybe you will end up getting it there, but tend to go more for the sellers that have the option to offer an offer, to make an offer, seriously, to make an offer, because you will be able to most likely haggle them down because they want to get rid of it. But like I said, put that eBay option as last in case you can't find it anywhere else. On Amazon, you have to go through the entire list of options they have, because if you go, you're going to see it's going to say new, used, and collectible. Now typically signed books will be under that collectible option, and then you're going to see anything ranging from very good copies to like new copies to perhaps new copies. Now in my experience, I've never found a collectible version that's new, so I don't know if it's some kind of requirement from Amazon that if you're selling it as a collectible, it already has some kind of usage going on. But if you go under the like new description, the seller will specify whether it is a really good copy or if it's a brand new unread copy. And oftentimes you will find that same book that you just went on eBay to look at on Amazon for significantly cheaper. But again, don't buy it yet, just kind of save it, move on, and check out some of the other options I'm gonna throw at you right now. So the next places you can look are actual retail stores, like book retail, Barnes & Noble, Books and Books, Books A Million, to name a few. I'm sure that in your area there might be another chain of bookstores that I've never been to, because I know that Books A Million isn't that popular. There's only one around the area where I live, but there's more up north when I went to visit my cousin's family. Now all of these websites actually have an entire page dedicated to what signed novels they have in stock. Now this is more of a gamble because you might not exactly find the book that you wanted to, but you might find another book that you show some interest in, and then you can go ahead and buy it and you get a nice signed copy, and you're only going to pay the retail price for the book. You're not going to pay anything extra. It's still going to be, for example, the book is $9.99, you're going to get it signed for $9.99. You're not going to get it signed for 20 or 30 bucks more on top of that. So it's always good to go to the official booksellers and check to see what they have in stock, because you might get what you're looking for. And if you're feeling adventurous, you might get something you weren't looking for, but you still love it anyways. And oftentimes those signed copies will also be first editions and first printings, which will at some point in time in the future make them even more valuable. Now, if all those options haven't worked out yet, we still have a couple more options. Let's move it along. Another place you can check is Target. That's right, Target as in the superstore that sells the groceries and the clothings and the house stuff and all the amazing stuff. Target, even in store, carries signed copies of books, and a lot of times it will have popular books. For example, you can find right now, because I checked it recently, you can still find copies of Allegiant, you know, Veronica Roth's book, the last book in the Divergent series, signed, and you can find a collector's edition signed or a regular copy signed, and you'll only get it for like 14 bucks, and maybe the collector's is a little bit more, maybe it's like $19.99, but it's a regular price. And if you got that beautiful Target debit card or credit card, it'll be 5% off, and you'll get free shipping, or maybe even possible in-store pickup if that store has it available. I personally bought a lot of my Legend series books. There are a lot, so there's so many. I bought I believe I bought Champion and Legend from Target, and they were both signed copies. Now when you get the books in store, they will only have maybe 2 or 3 signed copies, and the rest of them will just be regular not signed copies. But it's always worth it to look at their book section, because it's actually growing. At least at my bookstore, at my Target, they have now like an entire aisle, both sides, and a back wall just dedicated to different books for different ages, and you will see many signed copies of different books, and you might be able to pick one up. I remember, I think that so far, no, they had John Green books that were also signed there. I just didn't pick it up because I was lazy and I didn't feel like it. So make sure to also check Target, because again, you never know what you might find. Now if this is an older book, then perhaps you won't find it at Target, but you know, it's always worth checking it out. They have a nice little comprehensive list on their website of what books you can find right now that are signed. All those other options aside, now we're going to start getting straight into the authors. It's always a good idea to follow your author if they have a website or a blog. Preferably if they have a blog, it's even better, because you can see those updates more frequently versus the website where you'll have to manually go in and be like, do they update or anything like that. Because authors themselves will announce when their new books are coming out and if there will be any signed copies of that book available. On that same note, you can also check the publisher sites. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but if there's a book that you know is coming out, or if you know your author's writing a new book, well, you might as well check out with their publisher, because publishers also offer signed copies of books when they're brand new releases, and typically in smaller quantities, so you have to be really fast about it. So for example, when Veronica Roth's book 4, which was the book about 4 from the Divergent series, came out, she posted on her blog, and she also put a tweet out there that you could get a signed copy of 4 if you pre-ordered through Barnes & Noble. I did, and I was lucky enough to do it early, so I got my copy of 4 autographed by her. Ironically, some people waited too long to pre-order, and even though they still pre-ordered, those later pre-orders came without a signature in it, because it's like always small quantities of signed books. So that's an example of an author that I know that did that. And I believe that Marie Lu also, which is she's a author of the Legend series and of the Young Elite series, she likes to use Twitter to make announcements about different book tours that she's on, or events that she's going to be going to, and what new books are going to be coming out. And I'm sure that she'll probably post an announcement of when Rose Society is going to be out, and when you can order it, and if there will be copies of it available signed. So again, make sure to follow your favorite authors' blogs, keep up with them, because they will let you know. Another thing that your author will do is they'll have a frequently asked section, and I'm sure that a million people will have asked them, where can I get your book signed? And they will have an answer for that. So Veronica Roth, to use her again, or even John Green, or even the author of Game of Thrones, although his is not a blog, I just happened to find it, I'll mention that in a minute. The author of Outlander, which I really wish I remember her name right now, but I don't, all have posted on their blogs where you can get their books signed. What do I mean by that? Well, for example, John Green has this one particular bookstore that he really loves and that he visits frequently, and he provides them with signed copies of his books. So sometimes they'll be backed up, in other words, they'll run out of copies of his books that are signed, but they'll have a mailing list, they'll have a mailing list that you can sign up to, and they will let you know when he's coming to the store to sign new copies. That's how I got my signed copy of The Fault in Our Stars. Veronica Roth does the same thing. There's a little bookstore, I believe it's in Chicago, that she really likes, and she has an agreement with them to provide them with signed copies of her books. Same with the author of Outlander. There's a bookstore that she I guess like supports, and she provides them with copies of her books that are signed. And the wonderful thing is that you don't have to pay some ridiculous price for these books. You'll be able to pay a reasonable amount. Again, not some crazy amount like you'll see on eBay or even Amazon. Like, these will be really reasonable amounts, and you know that they're coming straight from your author, and you know that they're not possibly like forgerized signatures. It's authentic. They back up this bookstore, and you can get them. So that's, I guess, under the category of perhaps places that you might have not thought to look. And then, of course, there's always the mail in your book option. And what I mean by that is, maybe if your author is open to it, you can mail it to them to a fan mail address, and they will mail it back. And an author that does do this is Lois Lowry, who wrote The Giver, which if you haven't read it, you need to read it right now because it's a really good book. It's supposed to be a children's book, but there's, in my opinion, something childlike about the book. It's a really good story. She has a blog slash website, and on it she has a huge banner that says mail me, and if you send her a message, she will get back to you with her fan mail address. She doesn't like to post it for everyone to see, but she will give it to you if you politely ask for it. The downside, I guess you could say, is that, well, actually it's not a downside. You should never expect authors to pay for the return postage. If you send Lois Lowry or any author that does allow fan mail to be received, you should always provide a way for them to get it back to you without them having to spend any money. So I'm still waiting to hear back from her with her address, but when I do, I will probably put another envelope inside the package of my book that already has postage, so she can just pop the book in and ship it back without having to worry about it. You could also send cash if you want to. It's a little bit more dangerous, and you're not really supposed to send cash over the mail to cover the postage fee. But that's the only requirement that Lois Lowry has, and it's actually a practice that you should always use when requesting any sort of fan mail, not just a book to be signed by your favorite author. And that kind of leads into my next point. So that's already the discussion of how you can go about finding a signed copy of a book you're interested in or how to get it signed. Actually, one last note is, if you don't feel like mailing your entire book to the author because it's more money and it's slower and it's more cumbersome, you can also make your own little book plates or buy pre-made book plates and just send those, and the author can sign it. You can just put it inside your book if that's something that you rather have done than mailing a big old book. You know, can you imagine mailing a big old book? Because I only like hardcover to an author. It's a pain. So that's everything that you can do if you want to get your book signed. Now I'm going to just quickly talk about how to get autographs. People have asked me before in my videos when I do autograph success videos. As you guys know, or if it hasn't become pretty obvious, I haven't been doing any more autograph request videos because I haven't been sending out any autograph requests. I've been busy with school, and it's time consuming because, you know, you should write a fan letter. You shouldn't just be like, sign this and send it to them, and you gotta do envelopes and postage and then do return envelopes and more postage. But that's basically how it works. There's a really good website which I tend to mention in my autograph videos called fanmail.biz, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't been there in a while, and this is a database of all the fan mail addresses out there. So you'll look up a celebrity that you're interested in getting an autograph from, and they'll have an address, and you can go also cross-reference with other people that have sent their request to see if they got an answer or if they got what they think is a secretarial, meaning not an actual autograph from that celebrity but from their assistant, or if they don't reply at all. So it's a really good source for you to find addresses and information about someone you're interested in. And sending autograph requests it's fairly simple. Like, it's just complicated because of all the stuff you have to go through to get it out there, but you write a letter, you send the item that you want, you mail it, you make sure to include some kind of form of return postage. If you're doing it international, you might want to throw in a couple bucks so they don't have to return postage. Like when I wrote to oh man, what was his name? Sam Claflin from Hunger Games, and he's in England. I threw in like $2-3, which you're not supposed to do that, but I admit I did. And he signed my item and returned it, and then he sent me a letter saying that the money that I sent him would actually go to charity. So they can do whatever they want with it, but I was making sure to cover the postage. I did the same thing, I believe, with Alexander Ludwig. He's in Canada, or maybe I didn't, I don't remember, but I try always to cover postage if possible. But you have to go through the motions of writing a letter, because it doesn't look right to just dump an item in an envelope and be like, sign this for me, because it's so impersonal. They want to know that you're a fan and that you appreciate their work and that you just really want something from them to, you know, something a little more personal. Sometimes celebrities will answer, sometimes they won't. Sometimes it'll be a bunch of years before you get a reply. Sometimes you'll get a secretarial. I wrote to Stanley Tucci and he sent me a reply, but it wasn't him, it was his assistant, and I was really bummed out because I was so excited when I got it until I realized that it was in fact a fake autograph. It was not his autograph. But I really suggest you guys check that out. There are other websites like fanmail.biz. Just always do your research, compare, make sure that you're gonna get something authentic. don't buy your autographs off of eBay because you risk getting a fake. There's so few people on eBay who actually sell real autographs. If you're unsure, the really cool thing about fanmail.biz is if you post a picture of that item before you buy it, people will give you their opinion whether or not they think it's real or fake. Also, don't get fooled with certificates of authenticity because anyone can just type one up on their computer and pretend like it's from a reputable place. Unfortunately, that happened to me. I learned my lesson. Never again. I will never buy an autograph from eBay. A big celebrity's autograph is not going to cost you $8 to $10. Although that's not what I paid, but I'm just saying it's not going to cost $8 to $10. It's going to cost in the hundreds, especially if that celebrity is really famous. But anyways, you guys, so there you have it. That's how you can get autograph books or just autographs in general. I hope this video helped. If it did, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any other questions and maybe I missed something, go ahead and leave me a comment below. I'll make sure to answer them as soon as I get them. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!